I appreciate it. Can you hear me clearly?
You're coming in crystal clear at 5x5, and I've got goosebumps waiting to hear what you have to say.
Man, I'm so fired up, and I want to say a big shout out to my good friend, Mr. Victor Vaughn, who will be going back and forth with me, as well as my good friend, Mr. Blake Graham, once he joins us. But before we even get started, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to welcome you to our Wakaya Perfection Opportunity Call. And this income disclosure statement just simply says that, guys, we make no guarantees, whether it's health or wealth. You know, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out of our opportunity. And so beyond the testimonies that you hear, beyond the information that you hear, guys, Wakaya Perfection simply makes no guarantees. And let me just tell you a little bit about my story. It's crazy. It's almost 14 years ago. I was struggling. Living negative paycheck to negative paycheck, overdraft to overdraft. I don't know if you've ever been there before, ladies and gentlemen, but I was a second grade school teacher, and I had a lot of money, but no money, right? And so I decided to make a decision, and that decision that I needed to join the industry that's helped so many people experience financial freedom. And I can tell you, my life has been forever changed. I mean, I haven't missed a paycheck 14 years every single week, and I'm so excited about that. And I know all situations may vary, but I'm telling you, I'm fired up for the time freedom that this industry has provided me. And I can tell you, to partner up with a billionaire, oh my goodness, you know, I get goosebumps. I was just with him several weeks ago where he was opening up a preschool. And guys, when you see the founder of Fiji Water and you see a whole bunch of his friends and you're in that room, that exclusive room, that's when I get fired up. And so he's a billionaire, guys. He's a health and wellness advocate. And the good thing about it is he's going to solve the problem. And I can promise this guy, it is a big problem. It's a big problem that's going on. And I have my good friend, Mr. Blake Graham, who's calling out of Japan. And I'm so excited about him because before we even talk about the products, before we even talk any more about Mr. Gilmore and what his situation was, guys, I'm going to bring my good friend, Mr. Blake Graham, to the forefront because, and I want to see if he's out there. Blake, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly. Now, Mr. Graham, you've been doing this for over 20 plus years. You know, you've been passionate. And the plan that I was following 10 and 14 years ago, the plan that a lot of people are watching this live are following is the wrong plan. I want you to bring some light to the problem because before we can identify a solution, people need to know what the problem is. And so if you could just share the plan that people are on health-wise and where in your mindset people are going if they don't make a change right now. So, Mr.
All right, absolutely. And this is something that's near and dear to my heart because, like as you said, there is definitely a problem here. And the problem, unfortunately, is growing. If you look right now at statistics in the United States, and I'm going to share my screen so you can see these slides. If you look at statistics right now in the United States, you'll see that if you go back to the 1960s, there was only a 4% chance or expectancy that somebody born in the 1960s would develop a chronic disease. But today in America, and this is statistics actually from data from 2014, and it's grown even since then, reported in 2017 from the RAND Corporation. And this is what the company that the US government turns to when they need statistics. But right now in the United States, at least 60% of adults in America have at least one chronic disease, and 42% have at least two or more. And if you get up to the group of people that have 5 or more diseases, folks, they're taking an average of 51 different medications a year, 51 different prescriptions that they're fulfilling every year. It's just crazy how many people are getting sick. Well, what happened to us that we're getting so sick? And one of the things is we've been building on a weak foundation that when we get stress or chemicals or all these things that happen to us, our bodies break down, just like a house built on the sand breaks down in a flood versus a house built on the rock. And if you look right now in society, the statistics show us that 62% of the food that we buy in our supermarkets, now this isn't junk food that we're buying from a vending machine or even going out and getting fast food. This is food that you're buying to take home and eat later. And 62% of it comes from heavily processed foods. This is food with lots of sugar, lots of these fake fats called trans fatty acids. It's food with a lot of chemicals in it. And if that's not enough, even if you say, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to try to eat more fruits and vegetables, Folks, there's a 15-fold increase since 1994 to just 2005, looking at the statistics of just one of the chemicals, Roundup, that they're spraying on soy and corn. And you know what? The challenge here, and this comes from, you can actually look this up in the National Institute of Health. They have what's called the National Medical Library, pubmed.gov, and you see the article there. But this glyphosate, this Roundup, actually messes up with the digestion tract very, very bad. It can destroy the good bacteria and actually contribute to the permeability of the intestinal wall and even autoimmune diseases. And if you want to look at statistics on this, I don't know if you think back to when many of us were in kids, when many of us were in school as kids, did you ever have a classmate with a gluten intolerance? I can't remember anybody with a gluten intolerance, right? What's happened is, and this is a statistic that they track, the increase of those chemicals, and you get celiac disease and gluten intolerance like never before. Yeah, it happened before, but it was so rare we didn't hear about it. And look at the growth. If you see the graph of that plotted with the black line representing the increase in the herbicides, that glyphosate, and then celiac disease. And here's another one where they talk about deaths due to intestinal infection. Well, you start putting these things in the body that destroy the digestive tract, and look at what's happened. More and more people are having problems. And unfortunately, it doesn't stop there. It's not just digestion, because poor digestion can affect the entire body. And we were just talking about one of these chemicals. There's so many more. But look at this other graph. And they looked at what's happened when we put these chemicals on corn and soy. And everybody's heard of the increase in autism.
My apologies for interrupting, Blake, but we're not seeing your screen. Reinitiate your screen share.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So
no problem. We love your face, though.
Hey, well, it's good to know. Here I am thinking everybody's seeing the screen. So I'm going to go back just a little bit. Are you seeing the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I appreciate that, Mike. So here, this is the statistics on the sickness, and more people have chronic diseases. We see it all throughout America. It's increasing, and it's increasing in alarming numbers. And again, it's because we're getting more and more toxins. We're getting toxins in our food. People are buying the heavily processed food. We see more chemicals that are sprayed, even on the stuff that it's considered to be healthy, right? The healthy fruits and vegetables. And when you look at this is again, a quote from that study that's in pubmed.gov, that article there, where it talks about that these chemicals actually screw up digestion. And you see the increase of this is celiac disease. Going back to when we were children, we didn't hear about gluten intolerance or celiac disease. We didn't have kids in school who couldn't eat bread. But you see it more and more now because we're putting so many chemicals on it. And this was one that's, it starts to get really scary when you see this is actually the rate of deaths due to intestinal infection. And this is what happens when you put things in the body that screw up digestion. And unfortunately, when you mess up digestion, it can mess up everything. Now, it's not bad enough. If it wasn't just bad enough just to mess up digestion, look at what happened to this when we look at the rates of autism with all of these chemicals. And you can say, oh, it's not 100% correlation. No, it's got a 99% correlation there. You can see that on the increase of the chemicals on our corn and soy with the rates of autism. And if you think autism was bad, autism's in children, what about adults? Well, it's actually dementia and deaths from senile dementia. You can look at that chart right there. And what about even diabetes right now in society? Yeah, as we started to change our food supply, we changed how we grew foods, and we got less and less of the essential nutrients in. Then you started to see an increase in the rise of diabetes, and you see that as the green, kind of the green chart there at the bottom. They're grafting that increase. But once in 1993, when we started to introduce genetically modified food, and that's actually the blue chart you see there, and you started to increase the amount of these pesticides that are on our crops, you see what's happened with diabetes in America. And I think almost everybody on this call probably knows somebody that's got diabetes or somebody that's suffering from it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people with other diseases we haven't even begun to talk about. And so much of this comes from damaged villi. You mess up digestion, you mess up everything. And this is where I get so excited, because there are some things we can do in Wakaya that nobody else can do. I look at this and kind of say, think of this as nails in a flat tire. Some people say, hey, I'm going to go gluten-free, but it's not enough to say, oh, you've got a flat tire. Well, don't run over any more nails. Yeah, that's a nice strategy, but what about the nails that are already in there? What about the nails, all the damage that's already been taken place? How are we going to fix that? And that's why I love Wakaya Perfection, because here's our strategy to it. What if we could pull the nails out, patch the hole, and fill up the tire with air? What if we could help with the damaged system? And that's why we have Wakaya Perfection. That's why Mr. Gilmore got so excited about doing something to impact the health of people throughout the world, because we're really unique in our ability to help people feel better. And that's, you're going to learn more about the core four. So I'm going to, with that, I've just gone over the need, and I think I'll give it back to you, Andre.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Just initiate the share now, and so Vic can take over the slides. And man, that information is the foundation. And I really believe, Blake, that a lot of folks are scratching their head. They're scratching their head on, what in the world is going on? Why are so many people in the hospital at a young age? And I used to oftentimes think that, like, man, what in the world is going on? But now, because of our core four, guys, and it starts with our high impact ginger. When I remember just hearing about, man, what are we going to be selling at Wakaya Perfection? They said, oh, we're going to be selling ginger. And I was like, ginger? Like, are you serious? I mean, I didn't have a clue on the power of high impact ginger. And because of now all of the testimonies that I have because of this high impact ginger, I'm like, oh my goodness. And I love, Blake, when people say, well, I'm already taking ginger and turmeric. Well, a lot of people are taking ginger and turmeric, but you're simply taking a wrong ginger and turmeric. And so when you think about ginger helping with your digestive tract, and guys, when you realize when you take care of your digestive system, people often say, man, I have a gut feeling. Like, your gut is your second brain. And so you need to take care of that second brain in your body. And guys, when you think about turmeric, oh my goodness, when it comes to inflammation and helping reduce that, guys, if you can have the perfect marriage of taking care of your digestive system and taking care of inflammation, that is the perfect marriage. And I can tell you what, I had no clue in the power of turmeric. A lot of third world countries, a lot of folks that are not in the United States, they swear by ginger and turmeric. I didn't know, but guess what? Now we know. And when it comes to our Bulafit, it is a big weight loss epidemic out there. Like, people are struggling, and I'm sad because, Vic, a lot of people are just accepting that they're going to be overweight. Like, they don't think that nothing else can happen for it, but we know differently. We found out the secret to weight loss, the secret to fat loss. And when we first introduced this, I was totally against it, ladies and gentlemen. I was against it like crazy. But when I saw the results, when I didn't follow the plan and I used the product, I just want to say, I want to see how good this really is. And when I used it, when I was down the amount of pounds I was in a short amount of time, I was like, oh, now I know all results may vary, but man, you're about to hear about a crazy testimony in just a few seconds. So guys, make sure with our Keto Made Easy, it's no deprivation, no starvation, meaning you don't have to starve yourself. That's why I hated weight loss, because I knew so many people I know, love, and trusted that they did weight loss. They starved themselves for a period of time. So they lost to 20, but then when they start eating back the way they eat, they gained 40. And I'm like, wait, I don't like those type of numbers. So I'm excited about that. Now, guys, the next thing, guys, you got to realize with the keto, coffee, I never had coffee. I didn't like coffee. I never take coffee, but this coffee, oh my goodness. And it helps with blood sugar support as well. And so I never forget that I made a bad decision, y'all. I made a bad decision, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try this coffee. I said, wait a minute, this doesn't even taste like coffee. And then when I looked at the scale after I made a bad decision, I said, no, I'm all in. So I'll be stashing, I'll be hiding my keto coffee because it is a commodity. And I'm going to get fired up because of the background that we have. Guys, you got to realize that we have the keto doctor, Dr. Randy Lindell. He's been doing this over 10 years. And something profound that he said, the definition of a great doctor is not how many medications he can put you on, but how many medications that he can take you off. And so he's a pioneer. And so when I think about, what he's brought to the marketplace, man, I get so excited. I don't take it for granted. And he's given us a lot of information. When you talk about our fitness coaches, man, Owen and Christy, I mean, Owen has been featured 17 plus times on a Men's Health cover model. Christy is a fitness expert. She's been in the industry before. She just gets it. She helps us with our skincare because that's our biggest organ as well. And she just gets it all the way around. So I get fired up about the experts. See, here's the deal at Wakai Perfection. Let the experts be the experts, and you do exactly what you have to do. Now, I can tell you what, guys, the testimonies, we have thousands upon thousands of testimonies. So nobody can ever go back and forth with me on the power, because now we know we have real people and real results. And one young lady that I'm so fired up about in her walk, her journey, her testimony, I want you to listen carefully on the things that she had to go through and now how she's faring now. So I want to see if my good friend, our first Bullafit champion, Miss Glenda McDougall, are you out there?
I'm here, Andre. Can you hear me clearly?
I'm here live from the University of Maryland Shore. Back to you.
Hawk Life, homecoming. Listen, I appreciate the opportunity to speak anytime I'm asked to speak because Wakai Perfection absolutely changed my life. One decision definitely gave me a different life. So guys, I was diagnosed with osteoarthritis years ago, and everything culminated for me on the morning of August the 1st. But let me back up. I was at the point in my life where I couldn't stand for a minute at a time, and I couldn't walk far. So I was riding the buggies in the grocery store. I mean, when I tell you my quality of life was going downhill, it was absolutely going downhill. So on the morning of August the 1st, 2016, I woke up to get up to go to work like most people, and my knees wouldn't hold me that morning. So essentially I couldn't walk. I had to yell for my son. I said, go get your grandmother's walker. Now imagine at the age of 50, that's something that you're not trying to have as an apparatus, that you need a walker. So that was devastating for me, but I managed to get myself into my doctor's office. And this is the same doctor that had been recommending a double knee replacement. And we were doing all kinds of things to try to prevent what actually happened that morning. So it's as an emergency appointment, I was sitting in the doctor's office looking at this walker. And while I was sitting there, a very good friend of mine and business partner, Miss Renee Brown, gave me a call. So when I answered the phone and I said, hey, Renee, I'm in the doctor's office. Can I give you a call back? She said, yeah, but make sure you do. Now, Renee and I have been friends for years, but she never said, make sure you do. But I did. And when I did, I'm so absolutely grateful that I did, because she shared this important and just amazing opportunity and these amazing products with me. More importantly, she shared at that time the high impact ginger and turmeric that Andre just went over. Now, what Renee didn't know is that I was taking ginger and turmeric, and it kind of alludes to what Andre said a minute ago. All ginger and all turmeric aren't equal, because I was in the doctor's office. So obviously I was taking the wrong ginger and turmeric. So what I told Renee was, hey, I'm all in, let's get it, let's order. And, we have this thing called the Wakai Way. We help each other always. And so she said, well, come see me tomorrow. So when I went to see her, she provided me a sample of the products before I could even get my own products. And I always say thank you to Renee, but I'm forever grateful, because every day that I took that ginger and turmeric, guys, I felt like I could stand a little bit longer and I could walk a little bit further. So I was excited about that. Andre just told you he's at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and that's where my son was attending school. So 3 weeks after really getting this in my system, and let me just say, I was taking one a day with Renee's sample. When mine came, I was shoveling it in. I was 4 to 6 a day, just trying to get as much in my body as I could. 3 weeks after really doing that, it was time to take my son to school. And, you take your kids to a Costco, Sam's Club or whatever, and you try to load them up so they have everything they need for the semester. He jumps out the car because he's ready to go get the buggy for me. And I said, son, you know what? We're going to walk it today. So I was able to walk Sam's Club that day. I was just excited about that. And I was telling everyone I know about Wakai Perfection's high impact ginger and turmeric. Because when they started talking about a weight loss situation, that they were going to get involved in that industry, I mean, you got to think about it. I was a skeptic. I've been trying to lose weight from 3 to 4 decades, not 3 to 4 weeks, years or months, but decades. I was that person Andre talked about, where you lose 10, gain back 20, lose 20, gain back 40. That was me. But I said, you know what? What do I have to lose? Let me jump in and let's do this. So we introduced it with a 90-day challenge. So in 90 days, guys, I lost 57 pounds, something I was never able to do. But what I noticed the most about this program was the way my energy levels were. They were through the roof. I mean, I couldn't be more excited. I didn't think that it was going to do what it did. To date, I'm 122 pounds lighter. And all I can tell you guys is this program absolutely saved my life. And just to go one step further, guys, this opportunity is amazing. You've heard about the government shutdown. I'm a government contractor. But when I tell you that Wakaya Perfection, being a member of the Grand Wakaya Club, kept me sustained during that time frame, listen, I'm forever grateful. So back to you, Andre.
Wow, man, you get me fired up, and you make me remind myself on why we do these seminars and these webinars, and why we invite our family and friends, because we never want them to depend on one source of income. And when you think about the benefits of the Bula Fit, man, it supports blood sugar levels, hormone levels, it supports joints, detoxification, digestion. I mean, it just does so many things for a person that I don't know why they wouldn't do it. So when they say, man, what in the world is the keto lifestyle, guys? The keto lifestyle is, 70% fat, 75% fat, 20% protein, and 5% carbs. And guys, when you talk about skincare, guys, your skin is your biggest organ. And so it's no use putting bad things in your skin to try to impress people who don't even like you. And so we have some of the best skincare out there. And I get so fired up. And so now, this is so uncomfortable for me. We launched the Cherish sanitary napkins. So we realized that what our women and children were going through with their menstrual cycle, there's nothing more residual than a woman's menstrual cycle. And I promise you one thing, we have solved the problem. No longer are we going to accept that you're putting toxins inside our body. And so we have our Cherish sanitary napkins. So I get fired up about that. Now, essential oils, man, this is crazy. I used to think, essential oils, what in the world is that, right? And so now the peppermint oil, just through Blake's mentorship, now I see the power in essential oils. As a matter of fact, back in the day, this was the regular form of medication. They use essential oils, and now I get it. And I've seen so many testimonies just on myself alone with essential oils. And I can tell you, big segue into that is our CBD Gold. Guys, our CBD Gold is crazy. I mean, this is going bananas. People are ordering off the shelves. People are like, can I get a sample? Can I get a sample? I've never seen something so powerful that works. And it's a whole lot of misconceptions out there, but I can tell you, I'm starting to educate myself. Matter of fact, they just passed a farm bill across the country for all the states. And I tell you this, like so many people are starting to get the education on the power of the CBD Gold. So that CBD oil will be crazy. Now, today's challenges, guys, people are unhealthy and people are broke. When you look at it, guys, out of 100 people age 65, guys, look how many people are going to be dead broke. Look how many people are going to be still working, and how many people are going to be financially stable or wealthy. It's not that many. And that's why we're on this webinar. That's why you have to share it. Whether people like it or not, you just have to click the share, because at the end of the day, we have to give them the information, because we were told that if you go to high school diploma, you get a job, and you're going to be retired. How's that working for your parents? How's that working for your parents' parents? How's that working for a lot of folks? Because with Wakaya Perfection, we can work from home, create a residual income, and be your own boss. That's what I get fired up about. I want to be my own boss, because I realize today's economic realities, guys, the U.S. personal savings is lowest since 1929. Most U.S. families are one paycheck away from bankruptcy. But if we can help the average family make $500 to $1,000, ladies and gentlemen, then we can prevent a lot of abuse. So, I get excited about everything in all of these industries that are happening. Guys, you're in front of different industries that are going to equate to $1 trillion by 2024. Guys, can you realize just getting paid off 0.5% of 1 trillion, or 1% off of 1 trillion? What about 10% off of 1 trillion? That's why I get fired up of all of these industries. And I pinch myself every day that I get to help people join the Grand Wakaya Club. Guys, our whole goal and mission is to help every Wakaya member at least become a part of the Grand Wakaya Club, so they can start working on some of these things. They can start traveling, start working on a new car, start working towards, retiring your spouse and enjoying your time freedom. You can do this from the comforts of your own home. So that's why I get excited about our plan to a grand. And that's just simply saying, ladies and gentlemen, if you help, up 20 to 34 people, you're going to be making $1,020 residually at 150 business volume. So now guys, if you don't have to look for a part-time job, matter of fact, we just heard Uber sent more 1099s out than the whole industry in itself. What does that tell you? That people are looking for an opportunity, and we make excuses, but just imagine Uber driver if he did 4 car rides. No, it's not going to happen. But what if you help 4 people and you did that for 5 months, 5 weeks, or even 5 years? You would be making $11,000 in residual income. Guys, I mean, I pinch myself every day being a part of this industry and being consistent. This is the best industry. I've done traditional businesses. I've worked for people, and this has been by far the best thing I've ever could have done. Now, I can tell you what, guys, after I plan to a grand, we have our coding bonus because we believe in residual income, but we want you to get paid weekly. I'm not talking about W-E-A-K, but I'm talking about W-E-E-K, weekly. And so, guys, just as, and I'm a black diamond, I'll use my example, guys, I can get paid up to $120 per member. So what if 1,000 people come in my organization? What if 10,000 people come in my organization in a month or a week? Guys, just multiply 1,000 by 120, and that's my potential income. What if you were just a sapphire? Look what can happen for you, your potential income. Everything is potential here. But guys, I can tell you what, I would rather try and work with people who've already done it and get mentorship for people who've already done it than just sit on the sideline. And by the way, the Grand Wakaya Club, this picture here is our first cruise that we've ever taken. I know you can't see me. I'm like all the way in the back, which I'll never do that again. But guys, this company is working on that 3rd cruise, and we haven't even officially launched for 3 years yet. How in the world? That's math. I'm having math problems. How in the world 3 years and we have not even been open 3 years officially? And so I get fired up about that and our recognition, our rings and our cars. Guys, it is illegal in your state to pay for your own car. No, I'm just joking. But if Wakaya Perfection is going to pay for your own car, let them do it. When I talk about the rings are crazy, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you're a part of our recognition program and our Wakaya Grand Club. I tell you, we're doing some major things. And so we have world-class marketing system and training, guys. We have magazines. We make you the celebrity that you actually are. And I don't know where you are in your life, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what you've done, but I can promise you one thing. Like this health epidemic that Mr. Graham was talking about, it's not going to get any better unless we change. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. What do you have to lose? You're going to get healthy. You're not going to have toxins in your body. You're going to replenish yourself and pay your life bill before you pay your light bill. Those are the things that I've made a decision that most people, when they're eating and feeding themselves and not thinking about their health, I join this company so at the worst case, I can think about my health. At the best case, I can make a little pocket money and deposit into HIP National Bank. And so I'm so grateful for all of you for coming, guys. I promise you, we have this every Saturday at 11 o'clock. We fit our 30-minute time. What we're going to do is once you join our opportunity, I want you to get back with the person who invited you and get your payroll ID. But before you go, we want to spend at least 5 to 7 minutes on getting you off to a fast start to make sure you're doing the right things. And so as you're sharing the paradise and we're welcoming people, we want to give you the keys to your success. And then we're going to go through it really quickly, and then we're going to get you back to your families. And so you can start enrolling in Wakaya Perfection today. And so I have the honor and pleasure of bringing my business partner, my man, the guy who's going to share within a short amount of time the keys to success. And so we can ensure you that we give you the right steps so you can go to the next level. So I want to bring my good friend, our future Diamond Ambassador, Mr. Victor Vaughn. Are you out there?
Absolutely, positively, Mr. Vaughn. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly. The floor is yours, and you have our undivided attention.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for that phenomenal intro. Thank you so much for everything that you do to take us to the next level. Also, you, Mr. Blake Graham, and Mr. Mike Randolph for getting us started. So, family, let me be the first to welcome you to Wakaya Perfection and to Paradise. We're going to talk just very quickly about a few of the fundamental things that you want to be mindful of as you grow and invest in your business. And so I've learned from our mentors that business and success love speed. And so doing these activities and doing them within your first 72 hours are essential. You want to make sure that you implement the keys to financial success. Those are actual training in your back office that your upline partner will share with you. Decide to achieve and map out Pacesetter Pro, because not only is there $1,500 in bonus money at stake, but it's going to put in place the fundamental steps, activities, and behaviors that you want to duplicate massive success within your organization. You always also want to set up not one, but 2 launch events within your first 72 hours, as Diamond Ring earning ambassador Renee Brown often reminds us. And then you not only want to learn the 10 by 10 marketing plan, but you want to implement it, and you want to do it with consistency on a daily basis. That 10 by 10 plan is just simple steps that you can use to share our opportunity each day, as simple, even with text. And so when we talk about those keys to financial success, you want to make sure that you establish and define your why. We cannot stress enough how essential it is. Defining that why, you want to make sure that you're brutally honest with yourself. You want to take into consideration who and what are most important to you, because when you define that why, it's going to serve as your compass as you navigate through your business. You want to become a product of the product. Listen, know and understand, when you're Glenda McDougall and you lost in excess of 120 pounds, or myself who've lost 80, the biggest challenge for any business owner is how they're going to attract people to them. How are they going to get people to walk through the door, no matter what business they're in? Well, when you become not only a walking billboard, but a walking business card, people will actually come to you. So becoming a product of the product is essential, and it grows your belief system. Listen, start your name list and make your business commitment. We have 50 people on here. I'm going to ask Andre permission to cancel this out, because in Access, the average individual knows 500. My 10-year-old daughter, Chloe, is just outside my office. If I asked her to come up with a list, she could do more than 50. But that list is going to become a growing document. You want to make sure that you add names to that literally on a daily basis. Share the plan, share the plan, share the plan. That is going to be the most essential activity to growing your business. How can you share the plan? I'm glad you asked. You have opportunity Zooms like this, where you have currently the highest ranking ambassador in Wakaya Perfection sharing the information for you. We do this again on Monday evening. You have weekend meetings, you have home parties, you have the ability to send the video. Make sure that you partner with the individual that you came into the business with, and know and understand all the ways that we have to share this business. And then follow up and follow through. Listen, I'm going to just about park it there, because we only had a few moments, but it's stated